What's up, everybody? I'm excited. I'm excited. Forex is about to speak, and every time he speaks, we we see some big price action moves. So let me share this link with my Telegram group. Link in the description, and we'll join live once Forex gets going here. So let's see here. I'm going to invite them by sharing the link. Feel free to leave a comment. Let us know where you're at, and we'll get started here in just a little bit. Sharing this with my Telegram group, which has exploded, by the way. If you're not in, you should totally get in. All right. Let's see. We got people coming in from our Telegram group. What's up, everybody? Exciting times if you're part of the drip community and the animal farm community. Usually Forex is late, so I feel like you guys have time. We will see when he gets going. Right now it's 1 p.m. Eastern. So we will wait, but we will go live once Forex is live. I know that's why you're here. So what's up, everybody? Oh my gosh, Tyrell, I think you are the first person to send me a super chat ever in my life. That is the nicest thing ever. Someone just sent $1.99. Like, you could have spent that on a McDouble. Or you could have got 2 burgers, extra onion, which is what I get. But you sent it to me. Thank you. That means a lot. Forex for President. This is awesome. Thanks for this. Of course, guys. Pigs are mooning. You guys want to see the charts? Let's look at the charts. Here we go. Let's see. Let's pull up the charts here. Refresh so you guys know it's fresh. Yeah, there we are. Pigs are at 334, and as you can see, we started today. Today is the 12th. There it is. So we started down here, 280s. If you guys are in my Telegram group, I've been bragging all morning because I made a call right here at 221. And why did I pick that? Why did I say you guys should buy pigs at 221? Well, if you zoom out, look at that support line back here. Bam, 223. I figured it would dip a little bit below, and I bought. Did you guys buy at 220? If you did, you've doubled your money, which again is the reason why you should join the only good Telegram group about drip and animal farm. It's the Drip Farm, and the link is in the description. A lot of you guys that are in the animal farm or drip, you get banned. You ask a question, you're getting banned. I get it. That's their admin strategy. They consider that FUD if you ask a question. It's not the way I roll. I think you should educate your investors. I think everybody should have an opportunity to ask a question. Not everybody, has it all figured out. And where else are they supposed to go, except to a Telegram group, right? But I understand they want to keep it clean, and you know what? It's worked for them because drip and animal farm are booming. So say what you want. That's just the way it is. But it's really cool to see, guys, some of these price action moves. If you look right here, we've got a big buy order of $11,000, $2,000. So big money comes in, right? During anticipation of these moves. So we are anticipating Forex going live for another AMA with a well-known crypto YouTuber. I don't know him, but excited, and I think it's going to be great to have him. So let's look at our chat here. Man, this is skyrocketing. We've got 86 current viewers. So this is the back end of a YouTube channel, so you guys know. Grab me a Big Mac or Chipotle. Soon, Forex will be doing an interview with the Drip Farm. Yeah, maybe. I want to get bigger. I'm only like less than 3 weeks in on this, so I don't feel like I have the credibility to hit up Forex yet and ask him for an interview. I think you should earn the right. And so as the community organically grows, I've never paid for subscribers, never paid for likes, never paid for anybody, no bots in our Telegram group. I know some guys do the shortcut that way, not me. I just want to be an honest voice in this community, in the DeFi space. So yeah, we can take a look at dogs. Dogs has been getting hit, eh? I think the reason dogs is getting hit is because people are like, well, why would I go and buy dogs when I can because a dog produces a pig, right? If you're new to Animal Farm, that's what's going on. So a lot of people will look at they'll look at dogs and they'll just be like, why do I need a dog when I can just go buy pigs directly? But I have a feeling during this AMA, all ships will rise as he gets talking. I just don't think dogs is as sexy. Like if someone said you could buy this, which will produce this asset, or you could just buy the asset. What are you going to buy? Most people are like, let me just buy the asset. And so all the attention is on pigs. Plus he has the announcement of he made an announcement yesterday, guys, about doing a pigs game. And I think that has everybody freaking out, excited about pigs. So we'll see. Thank you, Tyrell. Tyrell just sent $9.99. That's crazy. Tyrell, man, you don't have to spend anything, but thank you. He says, hit the like button. Hit that like button. Exactly. If you guys hit the like button, I'll send you $1 million worth of hugs in the mail. Yeah, this is good. Man, that's so cool. I just made $10. That's the nicest thing ever. I mean, have you guys ever sent people chats, super chat money like that? I think it's a really nice way of saying thanks to creators that make content, because yeah, this is like the way we make our money. So thank you. All right, let's go check out Telegram group and see where we're at. So I'm in Telegram group. Let's join. Okay, he's gone live. He's going live.
When you stake, your principal is used to buy. Let's just use the terms of the garden since everybody knows about it. In the garden, the way that it works is when you put capital into the garden, you're buying seeds. Your seeds are then planted for you, and now you have plants. Now your plants produce seeds, and you can either sell those seeds or plant those seeds to create more plants, which will create exponentially more seeds. You can't ever sell your plants. You can only sell seeds or compound seeds. The way that the new pigs game is developed is when you go to buy your initial seeds, like the theming will be different, but just to speak in a way that everybody understands. When you go to buy your first seeds, say you have $1,000 that you want to deposit in, $1,000 worth of pigs. You can either decide not to time lock it and get $1,000 worth of seeds. Now those seeds automatically compound for you. You have plants, and now you start earning, or you start producing seeds based on your plant count. But you also have an option to time lock your harvest. And when you do that, you get a bonus on your principal. And this is powerful because say you lock it up for 6 months and you get a 40% bonus on your principal. That means that when you buy in, you say you buy in with $1,000. You get $1,400 worth of plants. And now those plants produce exponentially more seeds that you can now compound. So it gives you it gives you an increased starting principle that you can now compound. And it makes it that much more powerful, because instead of adding the reward at the end where you lock it up for a year, let's say you lock it up for a year, you earn your ROI, then when it comes time to harvest, they add in an extra 40 or 50% bonus on top of it. This isn't nearly as powerful as if they add an extra 30 or 40% to your starting principal. And now you can compound that increased starting principle, which ends up being a lot more at the end if you continue to compound in the system and keep capital in the system. So it's extremely powerful, and it allows us to take the best elements of the drip garden and combine it with the best elements of other systems that have time locked harvest. And on top of this, there's another element that we're borrowing from drip, where the size commission that you make for referring people is relative to the amount of dog tokens you have staked in the dog single asset pool. So this is further rewarding you to stake dogs. And people have been saying, well, you're doing this for pigs, what about dogs? And the reality is that dogs get their value from pigs. So dogs, of course, are tradable on the market, so they have that value, but their use case is in using them to farm pigs. And the reason why you would want to farm pigs is because pigs give you a share ownership of the platform. Right now, there's over $4 million of BUSD in a vault paying out 3% of its balance to pig stakers. On top of this, you'll be able to get into the game, the pigs game, and earn up to 3% a day on your pig stake. So this creates, increasingly higher value for pigs instantly. In turn, makes dogs use case stronger, because instead of selling your dogs, you're going to want to farm with your dogs and stake with your dogs to earn more pigs to put into the system, both into the pig pen and the game. And you're going to want to have dog stake to maximize your referral bonuses that you're getting from the pig game. And another point is, it's not just single asset pig staking. It's going to be pig BUSD LP token staking. So this does two things. It diversifies your rewards in the pig game in both pig tokens and BUSD, which is nice. Also, it incentivizes people to add liquidity to pigs, which is something that's important, because if pigs are being generated, you want a deep liquidity pool. So it further incentivizes people to buy, add liquidity to pigs, lock up pigs, both in the game, which has their principal permanently locked, but also locked up harvesting, which allows the player to get an increased principal, which then allows them to compound this increased principal, which is extremely powerful. So I'm very excited about it. I know that the mechanics and the functionality of the animal farm are very strong, but I also know that the pig pen generates its BUSD value over time, and it's designed like this on purpose. So it's not just a system where the balance of the pig pen is paid out quickly and then there's no more incentive for staking pigs. It's the opposite of this, where a huge amount of cash flows of BUSD are going into the pig pen, and then it only pays out 3% of its balance a day. This means the pig pen balance is constantly growing, so the 3% balance it pays out daily is constantly growing, which means the incentive for staking pigs and the value of pigs is constantly growing as the system grows. This means that people with a long-term perspective are going to massively benefit from the system. People with a short-term perspective can, of course, take advantage of the system, but they're not benefiting nearly as much as those who are in it for the long haul. What the game does is it provides a vehicle for people that are more interested in a short-term play in the system, but still has the mechanics to reward you better for longer. But there is, since the ROI is based on a daily ROI percentage, it's a bit higher risk, higher reward, which is great for people that have a shorter term perspective and want a shorter term play in the system. And because it's adding that much more value to the pigs token, it increases the value of all the other mechanics and all the other investment options on the farm as well. So it kind of raises all ships, and it's going to be massively beneficial. And since we announced it, actually before we announced it, you saw that the pig token started to find its bottom, and that we announced it, and then it's secured the bottom. And now last night, due to the price, the emission restricted the supply. The dynamic supply control algorithm adjusted the supply, so now we have a restricted supply of dog and pigs, and that I believe cemented the bottom. And now we have pumping tokens. The price of dogs is you can see over the past 2 days has now stabilized and is starting to appreciate as well. And I believe just the fact that people know that this new utility for pigs is coming is going to strengthen both the value of dogs and pigs. But when it hits, it's going to be a huge increase in value for the pigs token, which makes dogs token, the dog utility, that much more important and brings a huge increase to value there. And the system as itself, without the game, is very strong and will build over time and get stronger and stronger over time. Having this new utility added to it really puts rocket fuel on that, and is going to give a short-term play for those that aren't in it for the long term, but those who are in it for the long term will benefit that much more. So it's very exciting. I don't want to keep going on because I'm sure the interview is waiting for me to mod him and get this going. So let me just handle that. And
interview's about to start.
I'm going to also post that we're getting this started. So just give me 3 minutes. I'll get this going.
Oh my gosh, guys. 3 minutes and we are going to go live with Forex. And so what do you guys think? Are you bullish? Type in the word bullish if you believe that the animal farm is just begun. I'm excited. So what questions do you guys have? Maybe I can help. I am definitely not the guru on everything, but people wonder, why did you start a channel called The Drip Farm? And what's going on with that is because I'm bullish on Forex. Everything he has developed has won. It's been successful. And Drip Community is one of the longest playing DeFi games, if you will, or investment protocols in the Binance Smart Chain. And it's still crushing, and I'm bullish on that. I'm in Drip. I'm in Animal Farm. We're building wells. And it's pretty cool. So should I get more pigs or dogs? The answer is yes, in my opinion.
Make him a mod, and he should be able to unmute himself. So while he gets that figured out, I'm going to make a few posts saying that we're going live.
Yeah, so there's a lot of opportunities. There's a lot of stupid YouTubers that will highlight a bunch of crappy projects, and they do that because they're an affiliate. I've shown you guys, I was in Duck. I put $1,000 into this stupid protocol. I'll show you guys here in a second. Look. So this is another crappy project. People are like, oh, this is a great project. It pays you out this much. And then they're talking about BUSD machine. It pays you out this much. Guys, this used to be at $2. It went to 69. If I try to sell, look what happens. You click sell, bam, this transaction is expected to fail. That's what we call just a slow burn, rug pull, crappy project. So every time people talk to you about, oh, what about this project? What about that project? Ask yourself, who's the developer? What have they done? Is it sustainable? What's so smart about these mechanics, these tokenomics compared to everything else? If there's nothing new, then guys, it's just going to be a slow rug pull. Stop losing your money. Stop going for the moon coin. Stop following these YouTubers that constantly invite you to crappy projects. I mean, I want to name drop, you guys name drop in the crypto chat right now some of the YouTubers who keep shilling you crap because they make a buck off it. And you keep subscribing, but yet you won't hit subscribe on my video. I don't know. No, you do. You are hitting subscribe because, guys, that's what's so refreshing. Everybody's like, Jonathan, the reason your YouTube channel is blowing up in less than 3 weeks, you have almost 6,000 subscribers, is because you're not shilling us crap. And you're right. I don't have a course to sell. I'm just trying to build wells. Like, you're like, what do you mean? Well, here's what we're doing. Okay. While we're waiting for Forex, I'm going to show you. If you aren't in Drip, you can join Drip, but you need a stupid buddy address, all right? So everybody's got to have a buddy address, and you take your buddy address. Mine's in the description. And what we're all doing on our team, our Telegram group, the Drip Farm, once a month, we take our proceeds from our faucet. So when this grows to be whatever amount within 24 hours, we donate that. And we're building wells around the world. It's super simple. You come here, you donate, you sign the pledge. All of this is fires me up because as we start making bank and as we start making bank in pigs, making bank in Drip, this is what it's all about. We sign a pledge. You can get to the pledge simply by going to drippingforwells.com and you just click take the pledge. And it's awesome because we're a group of people that are giving back from our gains in Drip. Some of you are going to give from your Animal Farm games. That's amazing. By the way, guys, this TVL is probably the highest it's been since launch, so that's super bullish. This BUSD went up $500,000. Forex threw $500,000 in that vault.
I just posted it all around and all the
so super bullish, guys. Keep like this video because we're about to go live, and I want everybody to make sure they hear from Forex.
We're gonna have to manually unmute him, I guess. Which is fine. I'm just gonna find him. If any of the mods see him, unmute him, but I'm going through the chat right now looking for him.
So he's getting ready to go live, everybody. We got 242 viewers. That's crazy bullish.
Okay.
You guys excited? Thumbs up if you're excited on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Like the video.
Chat's moving so fast. New people are joining.
Look at that. 101 likes. Amazing. 270 viewers. Guys, this has to do with Forex. Has nothing to do with me. Forex is the man. I like Forex and I like Elon Musk.
Now you should be able to unmute yourself.
There we go.
Okay, here we go, guys. Here we go.
Welcome.
Hey, thanks for having me, man. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, I appreciate you on the time.
Yeah, no, I'm at Disneyland right now, actually, but I thought taking time out, Drip paid for Disneyland, so I thought, hey, what better way to pay back than take some time out to do this?
Yeah, well, that's awesome, man. That's my nephew just went to Disneyland not too long ago. He had a blast, so yeah, Disneyland's great.
Yeah, it's been fun, but I'm ready to get home. So, anyways, hey, no worries on you talking a little bit too. I love. I could spend all day just listening to talk about pigs and dogs and all that. So my wife is always confused in the other room, though.
Yeah, that's what these themes that even if you're not talking about weird theming, just crypto kind of has its own parlance of its own. I can't remember. Oh, pigeon speak. That's what it's called. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Well, hey, I've got some questions for you, and feel free if you want to just springboard off of any of these to talk about other things. And some of them are going to be a little repetitive from maybe other AMAs, but I think one thing that we need to remember as a community is just that, like, us as the community know these things, but there's a lot of people outside the community that we want to bring into the community. So some of these questions, we might know the answer to them, but it's just really helpful for other people who aren't involved yet to hear as well.
Oh yeah, we have some crazy number of new users joining every day. So I don't remember what it was, how many exactly with Drip, but it's something crazy like 15,000 new users a month or some crazy rate. So we got new people joining all the time.
Just today,
Right.
441.
Yeah, and new people,
441.
they all have the same questions that have been answered 1,000 times.
Look
So
at-
we just got to be patient and just keep answering them. So yeah, I really appreciate
Like this video. I give you the
your
best
time,
content. Let's
doing
go.
this. So let me go and just start out. My first question, kind of one of the most frequent questions that I get on my channel, is why is Forex Shark? Why do we not get to see his face? You know, where is he at in the docs process? You know, people are used to dealing with rug pulls and anonymous devs. So do you want to just kind of speak into that a little bit?
Yeah, sure. Well, I believe the ideal scenario for a DeFi project is to have a developer with an established track record, with several successful projects under their belt, and with a lot of trust equity built up in the space. And then on top of this, a protocol and mechanics
who's the founder of
that
Bitcoin?
are not
Who's the founder of Bitcoin?
so centralized that
You shouldn't
it gives
invest in
the
Bitcoin unless you know who the
developer,
founder is, right?
The power to do things like rug pulls or whatever various other forms of scamming a developer could do. So with me,
bullish.
I've been working as a developer and in the space as an advisor since 2012, starting with a crypto sports book. Well, actually, a sports book who wanted to open up a payment portal in Bitcoin all the way back then. And that's how I got introduced into Bitcoin. And I started working with them. And, from there, I went heavily into the trading side of things, developing trading tools and managing capital. And about 6 or probably 7 years ago, I started a Discord server where I, for free, it started through, helping my friends and family, but, teaching them about crypto development, about trading, about markets. I decided to start the Discord channel because I had someone reach out to me, a friend that wanted to learn how to trade. And I figured I could use it as a place to journal my own trades and my own ideas and my own educational resources. And also as a platform to teach others, right? So I let my friends join. They, invited a bunch of people. Next thing you know, I got 1,000 people in the chat, whatever. And I got invited to a pre-sale. So this is probably like 4 years ago now. I got invited to a pre-sale. It ended up working out very well. I started talking with the developer. And through him, I met some other developers and I started advising. So I advised projects such as TrustSwap and Rio DAO and Maha DAO and Block Cloud. And I could list dozens and Rio and Legacy, dozens and dozens of projects, some fairly big projects. I helped them raise capital. I advised them, I helped them market, all of these things, technical advisory roles and all different kinds of positions. And while I was advising these projects, I was also helping them raise for their pre-sale. So we've had dozens and dozens of pre-sales on my Discord server going back years, and they're all heavily documented. Anybody that wanted to be involved in one of my pre-sales needed to post their transaction link of what they contributed to the pre-sale, as well as how much they contributed. And I did this on purpose to document everything. So now in the future, if there was any kind of, claim that it didn't go the way someone thought it would or whatever, we had that record. And it served me very well because now I have, I don't know how many, dozens of millions of dollars and dozens of raises where going back years, like 4 years, where I advised and helped raise capital for these other teams. And it all involved me managing millions of dollars for these teams. The capital always ended up in the right hands of the developers, and the tokens always ended up in the hands of those who invested in the pre-sale. So doing this allowed me to build up a lot of trust equity in the community for years. And then eventually I decided to develop my own project, which was called REAP. It was the first deflationary reflective reward token. It stands as the token that most of these meme coins ended up forking to make their own reflective deflationary tokens. And, it's hitting all-time highs to this day. Just a couple weeks ago, the project's about 2 years old. We just hit new all-time highs on it this month, and it's performing amazing. And this is because we continue to build, we continue to develop, and people recognize this. And people that have their doubts about me can go back and look at my me as a public figure going back like 7 years, not just being public as far as speaking, whatever, but actually raising capital, managing capital, working with development teams, building. So I've established myself in the space as a trustworthy person. But more importantly, the protocols themselves, the Animal Farm, Drip, REAP, these other projects, BREAP, they don't have any kind of mechanics that would allow me to do anything that that would be scammy or whatever you want to call it. The liquidity for Drip, for example, is provided by thousands of different individual participants. I'm not the largest holder of any of my tokens. Same as the Animal Farm, Dog and Pigs. The vast majority of liquidity is added through individual participants, which have that liquidity locked through various contracts that are rewarding them for doing so. So when you make yourself public, you then become an attack vector by people that want to try to take down your project or, smear your project by doing personal attacks on the developer or trying to take advantage of maybe territorial regulation. For example, you launch this as a developer from this country, therefore you're at risk to these regulatory measures, and all of these things are major negatives if you're going to have a doxed dev. And it's also been proven that it doesn't matter how doxed you are. If the pot gets big enough, developers are willing to take that reputational risk to take that money and go skip off to China or, wherever, Belize or wherever they're going to go. So more important than being doxed is having a sound protocol that doesn't allow for the kind of centralized control that allows for a scam like that to happen. That's number one. And number two is you should only trust developers, or you should only put significant capital at least in project with developers that have a proven track record, that have proven themselves to be trustworthy and have been working in the space for a long time with plenty of successful projects under their belt. So I feel like I am in the ideal position, and our projects are in the ideal position for exposure as far as that kind of stuff goes. A pseudo anonymous dev who is well known enough that they have a lot of trust equity built up, but is not a target to those who want to attack them personally based on where they live or their history before crypto, wherever the case may be. I think that's important. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And also the most important is the protocol itself. The protocol should be secure enough that it doesn't matter who the developer is, they don't have the ability to do things like rug pull, which is the case with all my projects.
Right. Yeah, no, and I love that. I think, you definitely, you see Drip in this ecosystem as something bigger than yourself. And so there should never be like one person. That's the way DeFi is supposed to work, is there's not supposed to be one person who's a linchpin that's like, hey, this project's going to succeed or fall based on this one person. That's too much power to give to somebody. So, and that's why I really appreciate you doing these AMAs, because like information can be like the one linchpin that we don't have as a community. So you just being able to come on here and just the protocols all not based around you, but if we can get the information not all based around you,
I need to do an interview. Helpful. This guy is not a good interviewer.
Yeah, no matter what.
you
no
gotta
matter what,
you
you're
gotta
going to have
keep it
some
going.
element of trust in the developer. Because all projects need to get off the ground. And for projects to get off the ground, you need to have someone to be the voice of the project. You need to have someone to do some sort of planning around how we're going to, get it out there, how we're going to put it in front of people. And, these kinds of things. You have to trust that the developer is not going to get on social media and say some ridiculous things or whatever the case is.
Okay,
But
so
from
Forex has a tendency to like ramble. You've got to, as an interview, keep it going. And this guy's just hanging out at Disneyland. He didn't take into consideration there'd be thousands of people. It's frustrating. I want to interview Forex. I'll do it the right way. Christian, you gave me $49.99, bro. Drop your stuff. Everybody, whatever Christian needs to shill, go get it, because that was the nice thing ever. All right, next question. Here we go.
So then talking about Drip, you kind of talked about your background a little bit, but what led you to start Drip? And then did you have this whole ecosystem?
These questions are so bad.
All that you're doing with the animal farm, or did you kind of start with Drip and then start building on after that?
All right, well, it started with Reap. And the reason why I started with Reap is because reflective rewards had just been invented. I saw it as a way that that rewards holders for being holders and not for doing things that will get them wrecked, like trying to scalp trade or swing trade. And it rewarded the right incentives, I felt, but it was in a standalone contract that was simple enough that it could be built on top of and be the starting point for a major ecosystem. So I started with that, and then I launched BREAP because I knew that I wanted to make a transition over from the ERC20 network to the BEP20 network, because I noticed that the gas prices and the congestion issues with ETH were not going to get any better. Not anytime soon, anyways. So I made that migration over with BREAP, and then I started building out the ecosystem. So what I always plan to do is build out the ecosystem, starting with the key functionality and like the base of Reap, which Reap has its own functionality on the ERC20 network in a way that isn't very gas intensive and doesn't involve a lot of transactions. So we found a very good home for Reap on the ERC20 network, which is why it's doing so well. But BREAP ended up becoming the base for our DeFi ecosystem. And we took Drip, and the reason why I got the idea to do Drip is because I had a bunch of friends that were going into these platforms promising a daily ROI, and they were using them as games of chicken, essentially. Thinking, all right, I'm going to get in big, and then I'm going to keep compounding. And it becomes a game of chicken where you need to decide when you're going to stop compounding and where you should start taking profit, and you always want to do it before other people stop, because these systems were intrinsically unsustainable. And I thought there's so much demand for these kinds of systems, and there's that huge market fit. But the one thing that they all have in common is they all pay out rewards through inflation, and they're all unsustainable. If I could figure out a way to make a system that pays out a daily ROI with mechanics that are sustainable, it would do very well. We would have that demand and we have that market fit. And that's when I started working on Drip. So I started looking at
Forex, what's your favorite color? What's your favorite food?
I looked at
Tell us about your whole history of life. Guys, this is a horrible interview. This is not the way to conduct an interview. I am sorry I'm live streaming this crap.
And then I
don't know who this James guy is. I hope he does a better job in the future, because
and then thought, what can I
this is not what the community wants.
On top of all this, to really put my bow on it and really make it something I would want to present to the space. And we spent like maybe 8 months developing it, and then we spent time auditing and doing a lot of tests and a lot of projections, and then we launched it. And when we launched it, it was an immediate success. It did like 20x from listing. We then had a major market correction, and when you have a project that just does 20x or whatever from listing, you're gonna have some correction, because people that got into the pre-sale and people that were early that don't recognize the long-term, the long-term perspective of the project will have weak hands and want to get out. So we had a correction, like a 70% correction or so. And then we spent a few months just continuing to develop and let the game theory and the mechanics of the system play out and start to snowball. We started building and building, and our price started building. And then before we knew it, a few months later, we're at all-time highs and full steam ahead. And, we're now at this point growing faster than any other DeFi protocol on all of Binance Smart Chain.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. See, it sounds like you do. It sounds like you do a lot of thinking. Do you have trouble sleeping?
Sounds like you do have trouble sleeping. Oh my gosh.
My sleep schedule is like,
this is what we're talking about.
A couple days, and then I can't stay up any longer. So I end up going to sleep. I wake up and I get right back to work. And typically when I first wake up, I start with the hard problems, like
oh my gosh,
figuring
guys.
out different maybe math equations to
who picks these interviewers?
Work out, maybe a payout scheme or some sort of early reward claiming penalty scheme or whatever I'm working on with the hard problems.
Subscribe to this channel, guys. I'm the one that keeps it real and entertaining. These guys are boring as heck. We need fun DeFi YouTubers,
meetings,
not this bull crap.
Intensive from a cognitive perspective.
Frickin' subscribe. Let's go. Not 5 9.
At the end of the day,
yes,
like
look at that.
I don't know, 36 hours later or something. Then maybe I'll just hang out in the chat and answer a bit of questions and stuff until I'm ready to go to sleep. But yeah, it's basically all I do is work because I love what I do, and I think I'm doing interesting things that are providing benefit to people. So I'm very, very happy with it.
Yeah, well, we're really thankful that you get up in the morning to do the
We're
math
really
equations
thankful you get up in the morning.
So that we don't have to. That does not sound like what I would want to do.
Yeah, well, I enjoy it, but everybody has their own thing.
All right, so
oh
then
my
last question about Drip. So
okay, here comes Drip
I
question.
know how you've kind of built the project, but from your perspective, how sustainable do you think? Like, do you think Drip will be around in a year, 5 years, 10 years? And how do you see that functioning? Like through if we do get a really bad bear market, how do you see Drip functioning through that?
Well, people that are paying attention realize that Drip actually performs better in bear markets. And the reason for this is because we have the vast majority of our liquidity in stablecoin, BUSD, exactly, on PancakeSwap.
Boring all week.
This allows us to be decoupled from the majority of market moves. We still have about, I would say, 15%, maybe 15-20% of our liquidity tied to BNB. That does give us some exposure to the overall crypto markets, which is good because I think over time the crypto markets will grow and we will experience a benefit from this pegging to BNB, this 20, 15%, 20 pegging to BNB. But having the majority of our capital in BUSD means that we're not getting exposure when the market has a major crash, and we allow our pricing is almost exclusively based on people buying and selling. And since we have mechanics in the system that pay out the daily ROI, but have limits on the amount of compound and exponential growth you can experience in the system as far as the staking protocol, but the team building referral structure has no limits on its ability to compound and exponentially grow. You have a protocol that is onboarding capital by nature of its own protocol at a faster and a greater rate than it's able to pay out capital. And when you have a system that's doing this, and say we have a market correction and the whole market's dumping, but we're remaining relatively stable, it then looks like an island of capital security, or it looks like a place where you can park your capital and grow a sustainable daily ROI that's not being dragged down by the rest of the market. And you see an increase in cash flow into the system when the rest of the market is crashing. And I think that we haven't had a major bear market, although we've had a pretty big correction here. And when we were at all-time highs, when like BTC and these other products were at all-time highs, drip was at between $50 and $80. Now BTC is down like I guess probably like 40%, something like that, and we're up over $130. So we're seeing. I'm getting a bit of an echo.
I'll mute while you're talking. That might help.
All right. Yeah. So I'm not worried at all about a bear market. In fact, I think we'll shine better than ever in a bear market. And as far as sustainability, yeah, for some of the reasons I already spoke to, I don't want to get deep into the details unless you have questions about them, about the actual, mechanics of the staking system and all that. This has been talked about plenty of times. People can look into it, check out the other AMAs if they want the details. But the system itself is designed to pay out less than it cash flows in. And its ability to onboard new users has a protocol that allows for exponential growth. And then when you look at BSC, it makes up a small portion of overall crypto markets. Crypto makes up a very small portion of global markets. Crypto is the fastest growing global market in the world. So
he's calling.
We have
oh
an almost unlimited ceiling of growth ahead of us as far as the untapped markets. If you look at our the engagement that we get globally, it's almost all out of the U.S. 80+% from the U.S. The rest is almost all in Europe. We have a little bit in Asia, but we haven't even begun to tap into some of the extremely viral global markets like India and China and Brazil. And we have all of that ahead of us. Now, when you look at our onboarding of new users, we are outpacing every
I'm just going to play you guys a lullaby while you all fall asleep.
On BSC, but our TVL is a tenth of the size of other projects.
This is not how you do an interview. You're tanking the price of our pigs.
The only reason why we're ranked number 2 on DAP
Ask
radar
him some decent questions.
DeFi on BSC is because
my
our growth
channel
analytics are
is
so
blowing
strong
up.
That value overshadows
Almost
all the other
6,000
values that they use to
users.
determine ranking, like volume,
Okay,
like pricing, like TVL. So it's only a matter of time before we end up with volume and TVL on par with our peers in the top 5. And, it's simple math. Anybody can do the math and see if we get a TVL on par with the other projects that have top 5 ratings on DAP radar, that's a $3,000 to $5,000 drip. And, by the time we get there, then we have so much momentum behind us that I don't see that as a ceiling either. That's when we start, putting into work some of the other things on our roadmap, such as opening up our DEX to servicing other tokens and having a share of all transactions of these other tokens, feeding capital back into the system. And, all these other things that I think we'll be able to use to unseat the number 1 DApp on BSC, which is PancakeSwap, and, grow at rates that make our current growth look minimal. I'm extremely, extremely positive about the future of Drip and the sustainability of Drip.
Cool. Awesome. Yeah, thanks for speaking into that. So I wanted to move then to Animal Farm. I'm sure that's what most of the people here are mostly interested in, is the Animal Farm and stuff that's going on with that. So I guess just from my experience, I'm pretty heavily invested in the Animal Farm, and the farms have been paying out really high. The pools have been lesser, and obviously the pig pen hasn't been paying out much. And you talked about this a little bit earlier. Do you want to just maybe speak again to kind of the long-term plan behind, specifically, why should pig holders, as the price is going up now, why should pig holders not sell?
Yeah, well, so the payout in APY was always designed to be substantial because we want to pay out a higher APY than other projects that have been somewhat sustainable as far as price appreciation and price stability. And we want to pay out this higher APY while still remaining stable as far as price and price appreciation through the other mechanics we build into the system. Now, the pig pen, as you said, all the other pools are paying out high APY, but the pig pen is relatively low relative to your stake. Potentially, it depends. These are all relative, what you would consider low or high. But this is by design, because the pig pen is specifically designed to be a value transfer from weak hands to strong hands. And we do this by directing almost all of the cash flow that is created through deposit fees and taxes associated with the platform, turning that into BUSD, where 30% of it is made immediately available as claimable to the pig pen, and the other 70%, so almost all of it, goes into a vault that pays out 3% of its balance a day to the pig pen. This ensures that this vault is going to continuously grow because it's paying out a relatively small portion of the capital that's coming into it. So it's specifically designed to capture value that is being created through the trading of the underlying assets and the staking of the underlying assets through deposit fees, and continue to accumulate these BUSD rewards in the vault. So the 3% that is paying out daily is increasing every day, week by week, month by month, and starts out, relatively small compared to where it will be in the near future, but is constantly growing. And this is time-weighted rewards. So you can look at the documentation or any of the AMAs I did before launch, and I specifically stated that the rewards being paid on the pig pen are time-weighted, which means the longer you stay in there, the higher your rewards are going to be. And we're less than 2 weeks from launch. So, this gives you some perspective on the play to be had in the pig pen. The play is to be accumulating pig tokens and growing your share of the pig pen as the BUSD in the vault accumulates. So by the time the 3% daily payout, the drip that's happening from the vault, gets substantial, now you have a large share of it. And people that are paying attention to the BUSD in the vault see that it's over 4 million. It started out with something like 1.2 million on day one. So we're like less than 2 weeks after launch, and we've already more than 4x'd our BUSD in the vault, and we're just getting started. And we still have millions of dollars which were migrated over from the Manor farm to the animal farm that needs to be injected into the pig pen and also used for buybacks. I didn't want to immediately execute that capital into the pig pen or into the dog and pig tokens through buybacks after launch, because I don't want to just be giving capital to weak hands that want to try to cash out 2 weeks after launch. This is capital that's designed to get us started off strong but sustainable, to build a strong, or to create a strong base that we can then build off of. So the long-term play on the farm is to accumulate in the pig pen. So as this BUSD accumulates in the pig pen vault, you have a greater share ownership of those 3% daily payouts and a greater share ownership of the 30% BUSD that's generated in the cash flow that becomes immediately claimable to you. Now, I realize that there are always going to be some share, and especially in crypto, it could be a large share of people that are not always looking at the long-term play. They want something that they can take a higher risk on, have more exposure, but see a higher ROI. So we've developed a game which is similar to the Drip Garden that allows you to see a higher daily ROI. Of course, with a higher daily ROI, there's going to be an element of risk there, but we're taking all of the best elements of the Drip Garden, which have proven to be extremely sustainable. The Drip Garden is 4 or 5 months old, something like that, and contract balance is hitting all-time highs. We just hit a new all-time high contract balance yesterday, so it's growing better than ever. and we're adding in an element of time locking to time lock your harvest to get an increased principal, and also an element that allows you to see a larger commission for a larger referral commission based on how many dogs you have staked in the farm and in the pools. So the way that dogs gets its value is, for one, being tradable on the market, so you can trade it for BUSD or BNB, and more importantly, its main utility is as a vehicle that allows you to earn pigs through farming and staking. Now, if you don't see the long-term, the long-term perspective value of pigs, then you might be more likely to sell your dogs. But if you see the long-term perspective of pigs, which those who understand the protocol and have taken the time to learn it do see that, and that's why we have millions and millions of dollars staked in the pig pen, then you see the value of farming and staking your pigs over selling them. But for the people that don't have a long-term perspective, either because they don't understand the protocol or they just have short horizons when it comes to crypto investing, we are creating exponentially more value for them as well through the game. So this game is going to provide a ton of value for both the pig token and the platform as a whole, which in turn creates a increasingly and an aggressive increase in value of the dog tokens as well. Because now, instead of selling your dog tokens, you're going to want to use those dog tokens to get as much pigs as possible as you can for your capital, and then compound that into the pig game or the pig pen based on what your time horizon is for your investment. And I believe what most people will do is a mix of both. You could go 50-50, you could go 30%
guys,
in the
good.
pig pen
cleared,
if you're more of a long-term player and you want to be there.
We cleared
as an
334
owner
resistance,
is,
which was an all-time high there.
10 or 100 times larger
We're at
than
342.
it is now, and you're making 3% of $40 million instead of 3% of $4 million. Or maybe you have a shorter term perspective, but you want to get some exposure to the long term game. Maybe you go 70% in the game and 30% in the pig pen. So it's a major new addition that we're about to add. The development is just about done. We expect it to be finished by Monday, and this is because we were already working on it before we announced it. And next week, I plan to get the white paper out there. I plan to give a launch date for it and to start promoting it. And I couldn't be more excited about the impact that this is going to have on the platform as a whole and the game as a standalone product. I think that we could launch this game as a standalone product and it would be extremely successful. But having it as part of the larger ecosystem makes it that much more powerful and raises all ships in a major way. So I'm very, very excited about it.
I think that's super cool. I don't know if you're able to do this at all, but are you able to give? So like I can see, I'm getting, from an investor standpoint, I'm getting, 2.5% a day or whatever on my dog WBNB pool, or I'm, getting 3% from the drip garden. Do you have any predictions or able to give us any, concrete numbers for pig pen production, like in the future from an investor standpoint?
Okay, this is an important question.
Yeah,
good
so
question. Good question.
This. The reason why I didn't give that kind of APY or daily ROI in the pig pen is because you're not only getting the payout from the vault, you're also getting 3%. You're also getting 30% of all BUSD that is generated from deposit fees immediately claimable to you. And if I was to put an APY or an ROI based on the BUSD that's paid out from the vault, it's going to be significantly less than what you'll actually get because it's not including all the BUSD that's paid out through immediately claimable rewards. And in this case, it's also not wouldn't be accounting for the millions of BUSD we have, both through the collateral rehypothecation, which is always generating BUSD on the back end, and through the migration from L1 to L2. So I'm hesitant to do it because I know that value is going to be significantly less than what people will actually get paid. And if you're going to have a claim on what you're going to pay out, you never want to have that claim to be significantly less what they'll actually get, because then people see that value and will think, oh well, that's I thought I would get more.
320 TVL, boys.
You never want to
TVL,
greatly
girls.
underestimate
Oh my
what you're
goodness.
going to pay people.
Price of pigs,
when you're trying to attract them to the protocol. And if we were to give that kind of APY or ROI value to the pig pen, we would be doing that. And I don't want to disservice the participants of the existing system by not optimally attracting people through not giving the most optimal figures as far as what new people would get paid. And it's impossible to do that without predicting the future. So I have a feeling that there's people that will do the math and will create tools that allow people that do want to get those figures to see just what will I make from the vault itself. That might already be done, actually. And I know I could do that, but there's reasons why I don't want to have it on the front page. And I just gave you the majority of the reasons.
Yeah, no, that makes total sense. So would you say, from your perspective, that the entire animal farm is functioning as expected, and the people who are patient with dogs and with pigs, it will be worth it in the long run for them?
Oh yeah, absolutely. It takes time for game theory and mechanics to work and start to snowball. And if you look at Rev, you look at B-Reap, you look at Drip, you look at basically everything I've ever launched and any other solid project out there that has a lot of hype behind it, what happens is you have a launch. This launch, goes way overboard, because the hype is so built up. And then you have a correction. And then the people who are left over after the correction are people that are believers in the system. And now the merit of the system and the game theory start to work. And that's when you have true growth based on the mechanics and the merits of the platform itself. And every single project I've ever launched had a big pump at listing, had a 70-80% correction. It stayed down there for a couple weeks, and then started building, and then started pumping, and then made all-time highs, and then the mechanics and game theory are in full swing, and people recognize that, and we attract way more users than we did in the first week or two.
$19.99 and $5.
Any of my projects,
Hoodie 504.
We're attracting way
Moose.
more users on a daily
Freaking,
basis.
I love you guys.
Than we did.
Love you guys.
In the first week or the second week or launch. It's not even comparable. So people that think that the launch or the first week are most important, yeah, they're important. But what's important is that you launch a working system that is functioning as designed. So then you start to see the results that you had planned for, and the projections that you made start to play out, and the game theory starts to function. And yeah, all systems are functioning perfectly. We had a major hype at launch, as everybody expected. We had a correction, as anybody who's been a part of any of these projects before would expect. And now you see that we've been cementing a bottom for the past few days, and now we're starting to make moves up. These moves up are based on the mechanics working, the fact that the people that are in the project now are people that understand the system and are in the system, for the long haul. The new people that are being onboarded are not being onboarded based on hype. They're being onboarded.
I gotta do it later because I can't show my credit card. But
and now the game theory is working.
Like and subscribe. Let's go.
And the referral system starts to snowball and do its work.
Love you guys.
And on top of this,
I will do this. I will do this later. I can't give my credit card information right now.
Had an adjustment last night,
but I'm going to give that. Let's build some wealth. Right before Super Bowl, baby. Let's make some lives change.
The bottom was starting to be cemented over the past few days, now the dynamic emission, the dynamic supply control algorithm did its job, restricted the supply. Now we went from cementing the bottom to pumping, and people see that the capital that was migrated over from L1 to L2 is being allocated as promised, right? We just did another major BUSD injection into the pig pen, and we also have a major development coming, which is going to be massively beneficial for the system as a whole, and for people that just want access to this awesome new product, the game. So, yeah, I mean, I couldn't be more confident and excited about how things are going.
Let's
and
go bullish,
I'm
baby.
someone that doesn't even really pay attention to price. I develop my protocols knowing that if they work well, the price will take care of itself. And I just continue to develop and I continue to work. And so far, it's done exactly that, right? We have our corrections, but the price
Okay, I'm gonna make the donation now.
itself, and a few weeks after launch, we're back to all-time highs and doing better than ever. I see right now, as we've got past the bottoming phase where we've cemented our bottom, which usually takes a week or two, and now we're ready to start building based on the merits of the system and the functions of the system.
Yeah, I love that. There's so much in crypto that's built around hype, and it's kind of stressful. You have to like watch the charts and make sure you're selling at the right time and buying at the right time. And one of the things I love about drip is it just is that consistent. I don't have to check it. I just know I'm going to get that consistent return. And I know that's what Animal Farm is going to be long term. And that's why I'm just keep investing in. So that's awesome.
And the beauty of Animal Farm is, as you're sitting back, letting your money work for you, right? It's being lended in the back end. It's being used to create a market to leverage your capital in a very low risk way as you're earning a BUSD dividend. So it's not even like you need to worry about, oh, I'm earning all of these tokens. I hope these tokens are valuable in the future, because on top of all of this, you're also earning a very strong and consistent and sustainable BUSD dividend, which is increasingly growing, and you don't have to worry, apart from maybe a code perspective, that your BUSD will be worth $1 in the future, right? I would say, as far as stable coins go, it doesn't get much stronger than BUSD, right? We're not using some algorithmic stable coin which has all these mechanics that we hope play out. It's no, we're using a stable coin that is backed, that is very strong, that has the full backing of Binance behind it, and it's a cash flow that people can be confident in, and knowing that their capital is working for them, is being leveraged at low risk, and they're earning a dividend that will be valuable in the future. Like, no matter what the underlying assets do on the platform, BUSD will be valuable, and they're earning that on a daily basis. And these BUSD dividends will be increasing day by day as the platform grows. And we still have millions of dollars to inject into the pig pen as well. It's just we're not, trying to put money into the hands of people that are in it for the short term. We want to reward the people that are in it for the long term.
Yeah, and I love that. That's a question that keeps coming up: is, hey, when are the buybacks going to happen? Yeah, it makes perfect sense that you can't announce it's going to happen at this time on this day, or else that's just
all right, guys. There, I did it. Right, donated $50.
Yeah, and some buybacks have happened. They've
2 minutes
limited,
ago.
But this is by design. We're
all
not
because
of
you guys.
All because of you guys. First week, when all the when everybody's in based on hype, and half the people don't even plan to be in longer than 48 hours. That's not when you do buybacks. But anybody can look at the wallet that was that we did the migration over. We have spent about $500,000 in buybacks. We've done about $2 million in pig pen injections. We have a few more $1 million in there for both pig pen injections and buybacks. And we also have millions of dollars which are being generated on the back end through collateral rehypothecation, which is
345.
A function that is only in the pig pen. No one else is utilizing this
all-time
in any kind
high
of yield farm protocol, which is having a true
let's go. We need over
underlying
70.
or substrata lending contract that is taking all of the capital that is being staked as collateral on the platform and is then lending it to PancakeSwap to allow them to make a market and earning a low risk yield in the form of cake, which then is sold for dog and pigs to buy dog and pig tokens, remove them from circulation, and to subsidize gas costs on the platform.
Seriously.
If people notice, all these transactions are going around the back end, but gas is very cheap, and we want to keep gas very cheap because we want to allow the little guy to be able to compound without having to worry about a bunch of his earnings that he's compounding being soaked up by gas prices. So we're subsidizing gas prices by using the collateral that we're earning in the back end, or the yield that we're earning in the back end through the staked collateral. And this is creating both more BUSD to go into the pig pen and millions of dollars for buybacks and subsidizing gas costs. So it's extremely, extremely positive. And this is, you know, some people were asking, like,
Hoodie.
Well, we see you have like about $3 million left for buybacks and pig pen injections. Will the buybacks continue? Will the pig pen injections continue after this is used up? And the fact is yes, because we're not limited like the Mana Farm was to $500 that we raised in pre-sale that could be used as BUSD rewards. We, through the lending that we're doing on the back end, have a regenerating BUSD budget that we can use for buybacks. And as long as there's a TVL on the platform, we are generating capital that is going to be used for buybacks and pig pen injections. And we've already accumulated, millions of dollars for this. So, I mean, we're just getting started as far as the buyback and pig pen injections, but you're going to see very soon, people are going to be less focused on things like buyback and pig pen injections because they're going to be such a small part of the overall cash flow that comes in once, all whales are turning, like we've seen with Drip and all the other projects after a few weeks after launch. When systems are firing, on all pistons, people are less worried about the few $1 million that are going to be used for buybacks or whatever. But they're still there and they're still generating, and they will be allocated as promised, and they are being allocated as promised. And anybody can look. Whenever I do anything like a pig pen injection, I always post the transaction, the BSC scan link, so anybody can verify for themselves. I always do it from the same wallet, so anybody can look at that wallet, see the capital on there, see where the capital is being allocated, and it's all open source, it's all on chain, and we're as open and transparent as we couldn't be more open and transparent because we're fully open and transparent.
Yeah, no, I love that. I've got two last questions for you, then I'll let you go. I want you to get back to your thinking.
He just wants to get back to Disneyland.
A question I get a lot, especially from people kind of new to the ecosystem, is one thing they really like about Drip is there's not really any decisions to make, right? Like you put in your money and there's only one place it can go, really. Then you get your 1%. Then they come to Animal Farm and there's a lot of different pools, a lot of different farms. Is there anything you can say about like strategy in general that might kind of help direct people?
Yeah, I would say your main goal should always be accumulating as many pigs as possible for as least capital as possible. And the way to do that is by farming dogs or buying dogs and using those dogs to farm pigs. So if you have some sort of stable coins or you have some tokens that you want to use as collateral to get into the current farms or pools, I would say do that. Put your capital in there. That will allow you to earn dogs for just having your capital staked. And while your capital is staked, it's being lent out on the back end to PancakeSwap to earn additional yield. So there's no other protocol or no other system that allows you to have this kind of power. Now you're earning dogs. These dogs are your vehicle to accumulate a greater share ownership of the platform, and that is by putting them either in the single asset staking pool or pairing them with BNB or BUSD and generating pigs. Now those pigs, put them into the pig pen, and this is how you put a full circle on the system and turn that capital that's being generated and accumulated into a BUSD dividend. So I would say if you don't have capital staked on the farm to be earning pigs passively with capital that you would be holding anyways, you should get that capital in the animal farm, either in one of the single asset pools or in one of the farms. That way you're generating dogs with it, and then you should be farming with those dogs to accumulate pigs, because that's how you're going to turn those underlying assets to BUSD dividends. Now, if you see that the dogs and pigs are cheap, you can skip a lot of this process and go directly to buying dogs and pigs directly from PancakeSwap, putting those pigs in the pig pen, and staking those dogs with BUSD or BNB to generate more pigs. And it may seem like a lot of steps, but it's really it couldn't be more simple, right? It's staking dogs either in the single asset staking pool or pairing it with wrap BNB or BUSD to earn pigs. You then stake those pigs to earn a BUSD dividend and a shared ownership in the platform. Those are the two major mechanics of the farm. Now, if you're holding other assets such as BUSD or Tether or Link or any of these major major tokens and not earning passive income off them, you're doing yourself a major disservice. And you should put those tokens into the farms or pools, the non-native ones. Now you're earning dogs completely passively by staking collateral that otherwise would be sitting in your wallet doing nothing. And not only are you earning dogs from them, you're also lending them out in the back end, which are being used to immediately put capital back in your pocket through pig pen injections and buying the dog and pig tokens off the market. So I would say anybody that's used a yield farm before, it's no more difficult than using any other yield farm. You just want to maybe take a day or two to learn the intricacies of the system that make it different than others. But I would say the majority of the very powerful mechanics are taking place without the user needing to do any additional actions, like the lending happening on the back end. That's that doesn't take them doing anything, right? The BUSD dividends, that's just claiming the pigs that you're earning.
Thank you for the $3. I love you.
So it's simple. If you can do online banking, you can use the animal farm. As far as the system and how to make the most benefit from it, it's whatever is going to earn you the most pigs for the least amount of money. And that's most often going to be through farming them. But if you see the price as low, then definitely you can skip ahead of the line, skip ahead of the people that are earning them through farming them by buying them directly off the market for a cheap price and then putting them to work for you.
Yeah, no, that's super helpful. Just kind of that general rule: get as many pigs, get as many dogs as you can. And kind of one last question on this strategy. So when I have new investors coming to me, a lot of times they're like, should I get into drip first and then move on to the drip garden into the animal farm? What do you recommend for that, like for new investors that are coming in?
I love drip. I think drip is groundbreaking. I think the animal farm is groundbreaking too, but we have a major future for drip. After so we're gonna get this game out. I want to get the game out in the next couple weeks, right? I want to finish development by next week. I want to get the white paper out next week. I want to get a launch date out next week and launch the following week. Those are my plans. After we get the game out, I'm going to move on to a drip partnership. We have a major drip partnership in the works that we've been just holding off because I didn't want to split attention between a new drip partnership and the animal farm. So we're gonna move right to a major drip partnership as soon as we launch this game. So if you don't have exposure to drip, definitely get exposure to drip. I would say it's not an either or though. Like I think that they both serve major roles and they both have their own unique demand and their own unique market fit, and they both will behave differently in different market conditions, and one allows you to utilize and earn passive income off non-native tokens, the other one doesn't. So it really depends on the situation of the specific investor, but I would say it's not an either or, right? I would probably go, if it was me, I can't really say what other people should do with their money, and I never say what other people should do with their money.
Tell us, Forex, tell us what to do with our money.
I would probably go 50-50 because I think that they both are unique. They both have extreme, extreme potential. And, it's very hard to pick winners and losers in the market. I think that they're both extreme winners. So I would go 50-50.
Yeah, no, that's super helpful. So that's pretty much all the questions I have. I think you answered everything that I was wondering about, and I'm super excited. I want to go out and use my referral link more. I guess I just want to close with, what are you most excited about going forward? Like, what one thing would you say you're most excited about?
All right, guys, watch the price of pigs. When the interview ends, it could get a little volatile. Watch this.
I'm most excited about this game that we have coming up for the Animal Farm, because that's what I'm working on right now, and also because I don't think it has
dogs hit 70. That's good.
A linear effect. I don't think that because we create twice as much demand, it's going to have a 2x impact on the farm. I think that it's going to have a compounding effect because of the way it affects all of the other mechanics of the farm. That maybe we get 2x more attention because of the game, but it does 10, 100x impact on the farm because of the way it addresses the issue of creating value for people in pigs that don't have a long-term perspective, and it creates its own unique game and its own unique product that I think is going to have a huge demand for it, and it has a great market fit in itself. And it has a lot of cool mechanics that are being done for the first time. But I think the impact that it's going to have on the Animal Farm as a whole is way more powerful than anything, involving the game as an individual product. Although I think the game as an individual product is something that's extremely powerful. I think we could launch it as its own project and it would be extremely successful. But the fact that it plays such an important role that I believe just kind of shores up the few little things that I see on the Animal Farm that could be improved, and it just fits that perfectly, really puts a bow on it. I'm very, very excited about it. And then so that's for the Animal Farm. And then for Drip, I'm very excited about this partnership that we have coming up because it's with a project that or a platform, whatever you want to call it, that I believe is going to overtake OpenSea in the next over the next year. I believe it's way more innovative than OpenSea. It has it's using metaverse is kind of a meme. It's kind of a buzzword. I believe they're one of, if not the only product that is offering a metaverse that actually makes sense, that is actually providing utility in the metaverse that could only be utilized in a metaverse, and is actually something that is not just attaching the name metaverse to it to get in some articles or whatever. I really believe they're doing it right, and we're going to have a major cross-chain partnership with them. So I'm extremely excited for that from a Drip perspective, and we're going to go right into that about 2 weeks from now. As soon as we get the pigs game out, we're going to go right into this Drip partnership. So, I mean, that's another thing I'm extremely excited for. Creating value for pigs and creating value for Drip in turn creates exponentially more value for dogs, and the more dogs is being traded, the more BUSD is being generated for the pig pen, and it's a huge positive feedback loop that is that becomes exponentially more powerful as the game theory has time to play out, and we're just getting started with it. So there are so many things I am excited about, and I could list here, but let me just speak on what we have right around the corner.
Yeah, please do. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. So, I'm glad that we were able to keep this kind of short as well, because all of my other interviews go for like 3, 4, 5 hours. So the fact that we kept this one like just at an hour.
Yeah, because the guy wants to go back to Disneyland.
Yeah, I'm very happy with wrapping it up here. I could speak forever. Everybody knows that I could go up for 5 hours. So
yes.
I think that
we like it. We like it.
It's great that we can get kind of a
when
short
you
one out
talk,
there.
it goes up. When you stop talking, it falls down.
I appreciate the opportunity. Thank you so much for having me on your YouTube channel.
Boom.
As soon as you get it up,
40 more.
Let
40
me know.
more.
I'll post it all over the social media. Please, if you could put links to, I'll send you a bunch of links so you can put it in the details of the video. And I know you brought on something like 3,000 people into Drip, and for the size of your following, you have a ton of engagement. And for me, targeted marketing is so much more important than speaking to a larger audience. I would much rather speak to someone that has 20,000 subscribers, but 3,000 of them are going to result in actionable actionable results, as opposed to getting on a channel where they have 100,000 subscribers, but 90% of them are bots or whatever, or people that aren't engaged. So you have an extreme high level of engagement. When you look at your analytics and the percentage of engagement you get based on your audience, I think that says a lot about you and the content that you put out. And that's what I look for when I look to collaborate with people from a promotional standpoint. And I believe that you're doing it right because of mostly the engagement that I see from your audience. Clearly, you're connected.
Okay, when this interview ends, what's going to happen, guys?
The darkness,
what's going to happen?
Or whatever these other guys are doing.
I'm not saying sell, but look at someone already's playing the game.
Yeah,
16,000. They're selling. They're listening in, and now they're selling.
I don't try to ever sell anything. What I think is a good opportunity for me, I try to bring to my audience. And Drip has changed.
In the last 24 hours, it's still up 27%.
Fairly wealthy, but Drip has taken it to a whole new level. And I think Animal Farm has at least that.
Then let's build some wells with our wealth, baby.
So again, yeah, for anybody listening, I'm not trying to sell you anything. I think, in my opinion, this is probably the most potential of anything that I see in crypto right now. And I look at pretty much everything.
Boom. Listen to that.
And yeah, I just want my audience to benefit from it too.
Yeah, thank you. So Drip and the Animal Farm are both extremely powerful. The benefit that the Animal Farm has is it's providing a use case that is the most in-demand use case in DeFi, which is lending and yield farming. So we're casting a much wider net with it. So that's something that's very, very powerful with the Animal Farm. And I agree with you. We have a ton of growth to go with both. We have a ton of development left to go with both. And it's, I'm excited. I love what I do, and we have tons to do. So it's great.
Very cool. Yeah, and I'm excited to go get more people involved. Like you mentioned, barely been touched in Asia and Eastern. I have an interview with a guy from Hungary, and we're hoping to kind of get people from Hungary on board with things, and just a ton of potential. I'm really excited. So yeah, appreciate your time and all the thought that you've put into it, and keep up the good work.
Awesome, man. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Okay.
All right. And thank you everybody for listening, and thanks for putting up with maybe what might seem like questions for noobs.
Watch this.
I think that sometimes we can get so focused on our community that we forget.
There's those sell orders.
There's 1,000 people in here, but there's
millions
and millions of people out there that I want to get into here. I want the next AMA to have 10,000 people in it.
23,000.
So we just got to keep answering kind of the boring questions and keep bringing people in.
Yeah, well, I see these questions in the
sell
in the chat.
Happens
all the time,
every time.
So, yeah, it's easy to overestimate the knowledge that the average user has. So I think we probably answered some questions.
Like and subscribe for the next time we do this, guys. And I make a video every day.
But maybe didn't pick it up or whatever the case. Or, there's a lot of new people.
Look at
I appreciate it.
boom, your channel.
Thanks. Hey, and I'm always open for coming back on, or
Videos.
having you on my channel, or whatever you need. I'm here to help.
Make them every day.
Okay, well, after we get the game out, let's do it again. A few weeks.
Okay. All right. The only thing I'm not available for is your math problems. You can keep doing those yourself.
I can do them.
Leanne, thank you.
Math, but I'm not some super math genius either. So I love doing it. I see it as a puzzle, but some people have the misconception that you need to be some sort of math genius. And for most of development in crypto, you need to have like maybe a high school set of math skills. When it comes to truly innovating, you do need to get into some advanced math, and I do enjoy that. But I think people might overestimate the amount of math skills it needs to do the majority of developing. But, with that said, we have been spending the past weekend working out how we're going to reward people based on how long they've locked up, what kind of penalty for end staking early, and how we prevent people from having a game theory where it makes more sense to withdraw and redeposit rather than compound. So the math can get difficult, but the majority of it isn't too hard, not as hard as some people might think, but if you're trying to innovate, you're gonna have to be doing some math. But I like it. I see it as a puzzle. I enjoy it, so it is what it is.
Yeah, it is what it is. So, all right. Well, thanks again for your time. And I'd love to have you back once this game's out. I'm excited to see it. And keep up the good work. Keep making us some money.
All right, man. I'll talk to you later. Thank you.
All right. See ya.
Okay. Well, before you guys go, we're going to do this every time there's a live. So make sure if you didn't do so, like and subscribe. What'd you guys think of the interview? I want to see your comments. You think my feedback from the interview. I wish there was a lot more prep that went into the interview. Some of the stuff he covered was stuff that you can find in previous AMAs. I think a good interviewer should have said, tell me about the sentiment of your community right now. It seems like there's a lot of frustration. Those that bought in pre-sale with the Rev token, can you address that? Why should people invest in dogs right now? It seems like the price of dogs has plateaued and it hasn't moved. What's up with dogs? Why would someone buy dog over pig? None of that stuff was covered. So it's frustrating because, we're holding a live stream expecting to get a ton of value, and we're talking about do you get a lot of sleep at night? And it's a friendly way, but I think as an interviewer, you have to just hurry up and get to the point, because the point of the interview is not to learn about the life of Forex. It's to say, hey, you've got millions of dollars, literally millions of dollars that are invested in your projects, Forex. And a lot of people are frustrated with the price of dogs. They didn't get the best price in pre-sale. It's cheaper to buy now. How do you want to address that? And what makes you think that it's sustainable? Are you having to add a pigs game? Is that something that is coming as a shocker to you? Was this part of the original plan? Should that cause fear that we have to create something new and fresh? These are the things that a good interviewer does. It puts the interviewee on the spot and it makes them, have to answer the questions. And because a guy like Forex likes to talk forever, which is fine. Again, hear me out. I'm not coming down on Forex for being a big talker. I think that's awesome. The guy is smarter than me. He's like in the DeFi space. You got Forex in the automobile and AI space. You got Elon Musk. These brains are a lot smarter than most of us. And so there's no grounds for me to create any FUD, to create any fear, to create any criticism. What do I know about crypto and DeFi compared to freaking Forex? So that's why people in our Telegram group that want to whine and complain, I'm like, what project have you developed? What protocol have you released to the market where you've gotten $300 million of people's hard-earned money donated to your protocol? It just isn't out there. So there's no room to talk. I would have talked about the emissions rate. Hey, tell me more about the emissions rate. It seems very confusing. On your website, you've got this graph, and I'll show it to you guys right now. But you know, it seems like you click on the home screen and people don't understand the dynamic emission rates. Right now, currently on the animal farm, what's going on with, why does it say restricted? It used to be pegged. Why did you add 500,000? Is that going to be on a weekly thing? Is that every Monday, every Friday? What's going on with that? Guys, no prep went into this interview. So I'm sorry if James watches this. I love you, bro. You probably have great content, but my job is to bring the people an honest review of everything. I don't shill crap. I don't do it so you'll sign up at my stupid buddy address. My job is to be honest, the same way Dave Portnoy does a pizza review, right? So, all right, let's go to your questions in the chat. What do you guys want to look at while we do that? Let's look at the price of pigs. All right, it's great to see it stabilizing at 326. I love to see that, but I'm going to pull up your questions here and you guys can watch the chart while we do that, okay? So is everybody hearing me okay? By the way, to all those that didn't see, we were able to donate today because of you guys donating money to my little live stream. I donated $50 as a way of giving back. So thank you. This live stream mattered, obviously, and it's going to change people's lives because we spent an hour together. So super awesome of you guys to do that. All right, let's look at some of your questions. Touche, the Drip Garden has been performing amazingly. Yeah, Leanne, thank you. And thank you for your gift. That was super kind. The Drip Garden is interesting. It pays a higher percent, but it isn't as consistent. You don't get to sell your plants. It's like when you deposit into the faucet, that money is sacrificed and you don't get it back. But the more plants that you have, the more seeds that you will produce. And then you'll produce, as you can see right here, you in the Drip Garden, you'll produce these seeds that turn into plants. So I've got 10 plants available. And all I do, guys, as far as like when do you sell, there's like a rhyme and reason to it. I just go to this nifty tool here. And it sees right here, next plant will be at 11. So at 454, basically, or 453, I'm going to come back to my animal farm. And I will go ahead to the Drip Garden tab, and then I'll just click either plant seeds, which is compounding, or harvest. When I harvest the Drip BUSD, I take it right over here to, the farms, and I add it right here. So I've got $1,800. All this money is coming from my Drip Garden. And then here I get paid out a high APR, and I'm earning pigs. And the whole point of Animal Farm is to earn more and more pigs, because if you own a pig, you own part of this protocol. So if you're bullish that this will become a high stake yielding protocol, then you want as many pigs as possible, because you're going to get a percentage of that fee every time people stake. So 315 million people have decided to come here in week 1. What does week 2 look like? What does week 3 look like? What does 3 months from now look like? Especially with the background of Forex Shark and the confidence people have in him. So if you're bullish, you're bullish. So let's thank you guys, by the way, for subscribing. My goal is to get to 6,000 by the end of this live stream. So this is awesome to see you guys do this. All right, let's keep going to questions. Jonathan should be allowed to interview next AMA. You know what? I'm a newbie. I don't feel like I have the grounds to ask Forex. I know one day that's the goal, but I feel like I got to get to 10K subscribers. I got to prove myself in the space before, I've done YouTube before. This is just another channel that I have in the DeFi space, and I decided to primarily focus in on Drip and Animal Farm because they're the two things that I'm most bullish on, not financial advice. All right, good to see things are going up in the background. Others, yeah. Frankly speaking, what I expected. What else can he say? Focusing on the early investors doesn't make the best content for an interview. I agree. It's like when people interview Elon Musk, they ask him the same questions. And I think he gets bored of it. So you got to be, as an interviewer, you got to prepare and ask questions that the community wants. The Vin Man, exactly what I said. Like he will move the capital from Manor to Animal Farm once paper hands weed out. Yeah. Let's see. I appreciate all the efforts that you take to ensure. Thank you, Crypto God. Vinman's the man. Sam Barton, how do you see Drip, Animal Farm working together? Well, it's like asking, how do you see an engine and the wheels work together? They're two completely different things. Why would you want an engine when you could have wheels? Why would you want wheels when you could have an engine? Well, ask Apple. Apple, why do you need an iPhone? You could just sell Macs. Well, Apple, why don't you just sell Macs? Why do you need iPhones? Guys, they support one another, don't you? Don't they? Why? Because you're building an ecosystem. And the more people that learn about Animal Farm are going to learn about Drip. And the more people that learn about Drip are going to learn about Animal Farm. And you heard it here first, guys. Guess what? Right here on this tab, one day there will be a Drip tab. There will be a Drip tab right here on the side. And that means more money, because everyone that's involved in Animal Farm, don't assume they're involved in Drip. But one day when they see that tab there and they're making so much money in the Animal Farm, guess what's going to happen? We call that cross-pollination. Go ahead in the chat and write cross-pollination. What the heck are you, what am I saying? Cross-pollination? Just type it. I can't pronounce it, but maybe if I see it. But yeah, that's the beauty. Everyone that builds a business, you build multiple verticals and they all play together, and all ships rise. Once you have 10K, would some more proper to get AMA? Would sound more proper. Yeah, exactly. I want to build credibility. Having 6,000 YouTube subscribers is nothing nowadays, so it doesn't mean you're anything. But the fact that you guys are watching me and that you click like and subscribe, it means the world. Look at my channel 3 weeks ago, guys. We're in 3 weeks. I've talked with other YouTubers. They're like, bro, your growth is unprecedented. They're like, one guy, he said it took him a whole year to get to 5,000 subscribers. So I don't know. I love you guys. Wheels need an engine. Yes, that's right. 10th grade science lesson. Cross rug. I still believe Drip BUSD is the farm to be in. Any thoughts? Yeah, Vinman, let me show you something, my friend. So in case you're like, what one do I go in? Farms. You click on this. Well, here's a cheat. And again, you better like this video if you're finding value, because, you know, I teach you stuff. Look at, you go here, you click on that, and then, oh, look at, what's this? Boom, you guys didn't even know. You're going to click on this little calculator. Like the video if you didn't know about the stupid calculator. Yeah, exactly. Boom. And look what it says. It gives you all the information here. It tells you the 1 day ROI, 1.63. It tells you 12.38. Look at that. Would you look at it? Just look at it, guys. And then if you're saying, well, what is the APR in the Drip in the BUSD farm there, buddy? And you go, look at that. Would you look at that? 1.30% per day if you throw your money in there. Isn't that good? Well, what is your ROI in the Drip community? In the little Drip faucet thing, it's 1% flat. But it's paid out on a very stable little beautiful coin. Look at some people complaining about Drip. Guys, I ain't complaining about Drip. Why? Have you gone to CoinMarketCap yet? Go to CoinMarketCap. You tell me, is there anything stable today? No, it's just up and down, up and down, up and down, red, down 5%, down 3%. Man, when it comes to being paid out on a coin, I want it to go up and to the right, and that's why I love my little Drip coin, because it barely moves. And if it does move, look at the past 7 days, you're like, oh, it's red. Yeah, well, guys, relax. 137 to 131. Okay? That's not volatile at all. That's steady. And we like steady. Look at this steady action, steady action. Now, if you deleted this, because a lot of people will look at this and go, oh, Jonathan, it's fallen from 168. Bro, it shouldn't have ran that fast. That's not healthy. But if I just draw a line and go boom, shakalaka, I'm like, that's beautiful. I like that. Let's look at Pigs. Pigs is still hanging out at 324. Let's refresh the screen. Make sure I'm not bull crapping anybody. Yep, it's 324. There it is. That's wonderful. That's still bullish from today's AMA. Let's go look at the TVL now. TVL, we got 315. It's come down from about 320 plus. That's fine. No big deal. Still bullish as all get out. So let's go back to the chat. Back to the chat. X-pollinate. 3 weeks. Oh, cross-pollination. Yeah, I'm heavily in Drip. Great. Susan, just type your question. Hey, be nice to Susan. I subscribed a week ago, and you rock, mate. Mohammed, you rock, okay? No one rocks but you. His favorite line, red. Whole market is bleeding. Bro, shaka raka. D. Craig. Okay, that's it. That's all the chat. No one wants to say anything else. We're going to sign off here. If no one else has any questions, you guys have a Saturday ahead of you. You should be with your family. Turn off the charts. Go hug your kids and your wife. You get one life to live. You're going to be 80 one day, and the last thing you're going to be thinking about is, why did I not spend more time on the charts? You'll be like, why did I spend more time with my family? So make sure you love your family. That's what weekends are for. Monday, you can come back and stare at your little charts all you want. But yeah, let's be balanced, happy people. It's not just about making money in life. It's about being happy, living a fulfilled life, and being kind to everybody. So can I talk about Baby Drip? No, we only talk about things that Forex puts his name behind. If you want to talk about more crap that is going to be rug pulled, it doesn't have the community, doesn't have the support, you can do that in another channel. Until Forex says I'm behind X project, we don't talk about it. Why? Because we've all been burnt buying crappy moon projects that promised the hills and absolutely did nothing, aka Time Wonderland. And it even had Daniele behind it. I lost 30K with that idiot. Anyways, all right, guys, like and subscribe. Clearly, this is what's happening in DeFi. This channel's blowing up. I don't know. People like me. It's probably my face. Let's get a zoom in on the face. People say I look like Brad Pitt when Brad Pitt was ugly. Just kidding. I love you guys. I got to go get my dog in. Thank you for liking and subscribing. And for the people that donated, like, what the heck? Who are you? I love you. We made a donation today. AMA was awesome. It was okay. And we were hanging out at 322, bullish on the Animal Farm. We're bullish on Drip. If you guys haven't joined, Drip and the Animal Farm are amazing communities to be a part of. So join our Telegram group and add me on Instagram at Jonathan Seller, and we'll go from there. All right. I love you guys. Have a good rest of your day. Seriously. We'll see you back here tomorrow.